adjust now. I've got the square ones on their way. Is into the jar. You can spin the wheel, you can either get 10% patchouli, oud and musk. And the total that we made in this market was Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong on the run up to this market, from printing errors to wax, fragrance oil and deliveries not arriving on time. This is me basically showing behind the scenes of the stress and run up to the market. But first let's start with a quick tidy up, because I don't know about you, but I cannot work in a messy, untidy environment. Now the plan was to make reed diffusers and wax melts for this market, which was taking place in a school and essentially was for charity, but due to roll mail errors, the wax and the fragrance oil didn't arrive until the evening before. So my main focus in the meantime was to do all of the printing, so that once everything arrived, all I needed to do was label and make the wax melts and diffusers. But even that didn't go to plan. Now, if you've worked with the Cricut machine before, and this is not the first time I'm saying it, when you're under stress and you really need to get things done quickly, the Cricut machine just doesn't help. Sometimes it doesn't calibrate, sometimes it doesn't connect. So yeah, it was stressful. So after recalibrating the Cricut machine 21 times, it finally worked. Now please don't judge my mats, I know they are horrendous and I will buy some more, but they do the job, they work for now. What's happened? Oh dear, what's going on there? Okay, didn't quite like that. We'll see, we've got enough labels. Anyway, I had to completely switch off yesterday because the machine wasn't collaborating or calibrating, and yeah, but today I've just gone ahead and just printed off the rest of the labels and I've cut them, which is good. There's festive berries, Cuban oak, which didn't cut properly yesterday but finally managed to get it to cut so everything is working, and then rosewood switches there. So it is safe to say that all the reed diffuser box labels are done. I just now need to do the CLP labels for the jars, and then I need to do the wax melt stickers, but I have an idea about that, so I'll talk to you about that in a bit. So here we are, just printed off the first set of wax melt labels for our barbershop fragrance. So I'm gonna check to see that it fits on this. I'm not using the heart molds. I've got the square ones on their way, but I'm gonna use this as a prototype just to make sure that the labels actually fit onto the packaging. So let's do that now. Let's move that out the way. There we go. I have a feeling it might be just a bit too big. Why can I not stick straight? Let's go again. You see, this is why we practice these things, because you've also got to find a way that works for you, and it's 10 times harder, by the way, when you're filming. Okay, let's line it up on that edge. Right, committed. It's actually not too bad, and then the corners will just bend around the edge, but you can really kind of see that it's not as straight if you're looking closely. So I might take it a little bit smaller, although that's not bad for first try. And then what I was thinking is that I have some see-through labels. So if I could get this open, I could show you what I'm actually thinking about. Here we go. So I have some see-through labels. So I was thinking I could stick it on the inside, but then I didn't want it sort of messing with the wax on the inside. So, I mean, does that touch? I don't think it does touch. There is a gap. And yes, it has to be visible at the point of sale, but there's no harm in like having an open one on the shelf anyway, so that people can smell it. And at that point they can also see the ingredients and the safety information. I think for first try, that's not too bad at all. Tell me what you think. I mean, by the time I put out this video, but it's good for future and then it's good for one another as well. So yeah. Cute. I'm happy with that. Right, let's go ahead. I'm going to print off some more and then get on with the CLP labelling. So I've just printed this off in glossy paper, but it's smudged ever so slightly. So I'm just going to check the writing to make sure that's all okay. And then we're going to go and stick it on the inside of the packaging and see how it looks. I think that's quite good. Yeah, it's not smudging when I rub it. I think that's quite good. Cute, aren't they? Well, mistake number 152. I forgot to put the little accent on top of the E. So now I'm going to have to go in with my pen and draw the accent on. I mean, I've done it already to this one. It doesn't look too bad, but I mean, you see, it's just, yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Let's not moan. Let's get on with it. Look what just came through the door, guys. This is not an ad, by the way. I just wanted to show off, basically. But Nespresso was doing this deal, so you could get 80 pods for £20, which is so rare. So I ordered one of these. But look how many comes in a pack. That should be 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 10 in each one. But like, yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So I'm going to pop these into the jar that I keep them in. But yeah, just wanted to show you that because why not? Right, printed this wrong because I printed this using the setting of vinyl, so individually cutting the letters out and putting it onto the containers, which I decided I was no longer doing. Did the mistake again twice, and then finally, hopefully, it will work this third time round. But I just wanted to show you that it's not all straightforward. So many things mess up at once. It's frustrating. So I'm going to run this through the Cricut and cut this off, and I'm hoping that this works and we can actually start to label some of the reed diffuser jars. But yeah, it's just at the beginning when you're trying to get things to work and you're figuring things out, there's so many mistakes that happen. There's so much money that's wasted. This glossy sticker paper is not cheap, and so when you're making mistakes like this, it costs a lot of money, and this is not the first mistake that I've made. So just thought it was important to document that huge mistakes happen when you're starting out, but hopefully from here on in it should start to settle. We'll see. Touch wood. Now you may notice that I'm using 3 different types of jars here. So this was on the run up to Christmas, and I wanted to go with the frosted jars, but every retailer that I checked who did the frosted jars had sold out. So I have a mix of frosted jars that I had bought previously. I had to go and buy some new white jars, but I also had my old rediffuser jars, which are the completely clear transparent jars, which is this one here. So I just went ahead and used all 3 jars, and to be honest, all 3 of them worked really well. I have no complaints. They all looked uniform, all looked lovely. So yeah, it all worked out in the end. Speak too soon. Yeah, this has happened to a couple of them where they haven't hasn't ripped off properly. So we'll get rid of that one. Last but not least, boom baby. Okay, not as clean as, is it that one? Not as clean as that one. So this was the one where we used the vinyl. Not as clean, but do you know what? Not gonna complain. Not gonna complain. Maybe I need to get matte instead of glossy paper, but happy with that. So I wasn't expecting these to be like so big, but they're huge. I was expecting them to be a little bit smaller than this, and did I order blue or lilac? Maybe I did order blue, but like I was thinking anyway. For the pick and mix wax melts, I'm just going to keep them to use these now. People can obviously like choose their wax melts. Let me show you what I mean. 1 second. For example, so these are the old wax melts that I need to get rid of. They've got my old logo on them, and yeah, so I kind of need to get rid of them. I don't have to, but I'm gonna do them for like £1 each. So if people want to buy, you know, a couple, you just pop them in here. And then with that, you'll get the wax melt care card. I'm also in the middle of making the CLP card for each, for the wax melts, which I'll show you later on. But yeah, just slide that in there. And then obviously, then just bend that over. And then just pop a little sticker on there. Sorry, I got issues. Okay, and then where's my little one of these, just so I can show you. And so then this will then just go in the middle there. And that's quite cute. So this would be, yeah, pick and mix wax melts at the fair. Wonderful. In fact, I'm quite happy with this size because it means that I can just keep the size of the card, and then it will have a good sized scent card in there. Yeah, I thought initially they were quite big, but yeah, I think that's quite cute. I've also got some more things coming from Amazon, and they were supposed to come last night, and now they're not coming until the 10th of December. So that includes the wax melts packaging and some other cute bits that I bought, which I wanted to show, but they're not coming until Tuesday, and the fair is on Wednesday. So Tuesday evening is gonna be a nightmare. I just hope they come on Tuesday, because if they don't, I don't know what I'm going to do. I may just have to make like individual melts, and I can always then make a label for these. But I kind of just wanted to make the process a little bit more easier, which is why I opted for the little plastic clamshell boxes I was showing you earlier. But if it doesn't arrive in time, I'm going to need a plan B, so that's the plan B basically. But yeah, I'm happy with these little bags. I just need to make and print off some of these, obviously with my new contact details on there, because this is the old contact details, so I'll go ahead and do that a bit later on. I've actually done quite a lot, guys, but just look at this mess. Just look everywhere you look. It's just mess. And obviously, Lottie, say hello. Say hi. Oh, good girl. Good girl, mama. And obviously Lottie is in amongst it all. By the way, I've got a package there that I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. We'll do an unboxing, but it is for the fair. Whilst the printer is printing off the mixed wax melt CLP cards, I just thought I'd unbox this Amazon package that I've just got. I've got to make it quick because I don't have a lot of space left on my phone. But I did want to show you the wax melt clamshells have arrived. So we can get to making those, although I'm waiting for the fragrance oil. And then we've got some white bags that I need to stamp, so I'll do that. But then also, I bought this little spin wheel thing. So let me just open this. Are you ready? I bought a little spinny thing, so I can like offer like 10% off. So if you spend over, let's say £30, then you can spin the wheel and you can like either get a free wax melt, get 20% off your next order, blah blah blah. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 8 things to think of. I'll probably do, sorry, maybe next time. But yeah, that was 10 quid. And I think that's just brilliant and fun and cute. So I'm going to be adding that to the store. Little did I know that that spinny wheel thing actually ended up bringing me in quite a few sales. Because rather than having a minimum spend, I ended up saying, well, if you go to buy something, you can have a go at spinning the wheel, and that prompted more people to sort of buy the lower price stuff, such as the individual wax melts, but I'll touch on that at the end of the video. So at this point we're still very much waiting for the fragrance oils and the wax to arrive, so I was just trying to do everything that I could do to minimize the amount of stuff that I had to do once those had arrived. So here I'm just basically getting all the reeds together, packaging them and popping a sticker on them. Guys, the oils came. I'm so happy, and I got a free sample and a bit extra of Christmas tree, which I now won't be able to use because I haven't tested it, and I don't like using things that I haven't tested, but also I need to make the CLP label for, and I just don't have the time. So I can finish the reed diffusers up now that they are here. And then just to touch base quickly, yesterday I went ahead and put the CLP labels on the inside of the wax melts. Obviously each scent will be open on the table so people can have a smell, because obviously they'll have a smell of this, and it should also tell them the smell of the reed diffuser. I hope that makes sense. And then also I've gone ahead and I've made up these bags. So the wax melts will go in these bags. So the wax melts these wax melt clamshells will go in this bag, but also like the individual sort of the pound wax melts, the little circle ones that I'm selling off, will also go in this bag. So then each bag inside has like a wax melt care card inside, just explaining how to use wax melts, and then it's got my contact details on there. So I've gone ahead and made up all of those bags, although I feel like it's not enough and I need to make some more. However, am I getting ahead of myself because not that many people are going to buy? I don't know, who knows. And then also I've got like the CLP cards for the different scents in this bag here. So this is how the bag will look. So obviously when you buy your wax melts or whatever, it's going to have your card in there and then a little sticker to close it. So that's the idea behind that. But I'm just storing some more paperwork in here. So basically in here I have CLP cards for the mixed wax melts. So obviously when people buy the mixed melts, this will go into the bag with the wax melt care card, and if people just buy that, then that will just go directly into a bag, and the CLPs are already on there, so that's good. Found some smaller bags with my old logo in the cupboard. These I'm going to need to put under the baskets to keep them propped up at an angle, but I'll show you that later. And then tea lights. I had these glassine bags, so I thought it would be a good idea. Obviously if people are buying these, which are the wax melters, then obviously it'd be good to come with a couple of tea lights. So I thought I'd pack 2 of each in these bags, so if people buy them, then at least they've got the tea lights with them. And yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, that's the sample wax melt, so hopefully that's how they'll sit on the shelf. And I think I showed you this, I can't remember. So basically if you spend over, let's say like £20 or £25, you can spin the wheel. You can either get 10% off, spin again, free wax melt sample, oops, maybe next time, free wax melt sample, 20% off your online shop, free wax melt of your choice, oops, next time. But I'm going to rub this all, 10% off, spin again. I'm going to rub this all off and do it again, because I've realised that they're all, like my son pointed out, that they're all facing different ways, so I'm going to do that again. And yeah, so lots to do today. I am going to get on and set the table up and start making wax melts. I don't know if I'm going to film the whole process. Oh, also I've printed these scent cards, so if people want to know what's in each fragrance, obviously I've got memory of a goldfish, so these are going to come in really handy in terms of just reminding me. So these are for me. So yeah, I'm going to get on and finish up making the wax melts, putting the labels on, and yeah, I'll catch you on the other side. Just poured cashmere plums. Look at that, so nice. And cashmere plums has top notes of like fruit roses, it's got black cherry, spices, and then base and heart notes are like patchouli, oud and musk, and it just smells divine. So I've only managed to pour one of those because I've run out of wax. I managed to pour one of the cashmere plums. I've poured 2 barbers, which are barbers is out of this world. It's definitely my favourite. I've got snow angels, and I've also got some rosewoods, which I know are favourites. But I've also poured some gingerbread at the back there, and yeah, so unfortunately I've run out of wax. It was an oversight on my part. Well, actually no, I think they had run out themselves, and so they sent me what they had. So I didn't get the full 1 kg, I got 500 grams, which makes sense. So yeah, so all of those won't get poured, unfortunately, but you know, they're labelled and they're ready to go. I just need to buy more wax, I suppose. And yeah, and pop them on my website, and hopefully people will head on over there and buy them there. But yeah, so that's all done now. Gonna leave it to dry. Then once they're dry, if we have a look at, let's see, frankincense and myrrh, just close that up, and then the label will just go over the top of this. So let me show you. It will just go over the top like so. And what I'll probably do is just have some empty ones on as like placeholders on the shelf, so people can see what they are or what they were, and if they want to go ahead and order on the website, then they can also do that. So yeah. Oh, over here, these are gingerbread ones. I poured them, but I forgot to put the fragrance oil in, so I had to throw them back into the pot, and yeah, and then add the fragrance oil, and then I just re-poured them there. And those I'll clean up. These ones I'll clean up later.
While I do it, I brought the walkie pad in here. I bought this for $3 and I don't use it.
So nice, so good.
Consists of candles, punch through frames, and punch through kits. We got a few more orders for kits. So I'm done packing for today, but I still have a location sticker I'm going to work on. And like I was saying, I need to work on the machine, but I think I'll do the location sticker today. But other than that, I will see you tomorrow or Thursday or another day.
Bit wonky, but still cute.
It's not nighttime, but the lighting is so dark here if I get all my lights on. Just check I'm not.
Just check. Forgot to show you the undersides of the Cuban oak. I don't know if you can see the glitter there. That was so cute. And then the underside of the gingerbread. So cute. Okay.
Estimated delivery is Friday between 12:45 and 3:45. We can't get into the H&M where the market is until I think 4 o'clock. Anyways, the market starts at 5. This will be interesting. I will keep you posted.
It's a different colour, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, it's not too bad.
I figured it was safer for me not to run a bunch of errands with my neck hurting the way it is. Okay, well, that's the update. Not as caught up as I thought, but that's okay. It'll all get done. And I'm just going to do some customer orders tonight/tomorrow. Also, today's my
Hello and Happy New Year. It is actually January now, January the 12th, and I'm just editing this video in time for it to go out next week. So I just wanted to quickly jump on and let you know how the market went, because actually in my eyes it was quite successful. So let's talk numbers. So I've written down a few notes here to discuss with you. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading the notes. The market lasted about 1.5 to 2 hours, and it started from around 12 and lasted about 1:30. I think I had my final sale at 1:50 because a teacher came in, but my first sale was at 12:01. So literally had about half an hour to set up. Now, if any of you know, you need a lot longer than half an hour to set up for a market, but literally threw everything on the table. And the last clip that you would have seen was actually taken at the end. It wasn't how the table looked at all. It looks a bit scatty looking back, but it wasn't. This was at the end. This is when, you know, lots of hands have been touching lots of things. So that final clip was at the end. All in all, I would say it was a quite successful market, considering it was only 1.5 hours, and we had 31 sales in total. The average sale was about £7.64, and the total that we made in this market was £236.90, minus about £14 worth of discounts from the spin wheel that I mentioned earlier in the video, although that was a very good product to have, and I'll tell you why later on in the video. So let's talk numbers of sales per item. So coming in fourth, we have the reed diffusers, and I managed to sell 4 reed diffusers. Obviously it's a higher priced product at £25 per diffuser, so wasn't expecting to sell that many anyway. So 4 for me is definitely something to be proud of. Coming in third place, we've got the wax melt clamshells, roughly about 9, and I say roughly because I'll tell you why later on. So roughly about 9 wax melt clamshells. Coming in sort of joint second, joint third are the wax melt burners. And I remember having wax melt burners at my last market, which is why I know that I needed them at this market. Because you're selling wax melts, people, one, don't necessarily know what wax melts are, and two, if you're selling the entire package, which was the wax melt burners, the tea lights and wax melts, people are more likely to buy the wax melts because now they've got the burner and the tea lights and basically ready to go. So wax melt burners came in joint second, joint third with the wax melt clamshells. And our most bought product on the stall was the individual wax melts. I was selling these at £1 and I sold approximately £50 worth of wax melts. So that was good. In terms of the amount of money made per product, coming in at fourth place, we've got the individual wax melts, again at about £50. In third place, we've got the wax melt burners. So all 9 that I brought to the market completely sold. Coming in at second place, the wax melt clamshells. Coming in at first place, obviously, was the reed diffusers. Made £100 selling reed diffusers. So that was quite good for an hour and a half, right? So a couple of things that I quickly want to touch on. Now, I don't know if anyone else uses the Square app. So the Square app is basically an app that you download to your phone, and all payments are then made just by the consumer touching the back of your phone with their card, and then the app registers. Now with the Square app, you can pre-put all of your products in. So basically if someone comes to your stall and says, okay, I want to buy a reed diffuser, you tap on the reed diffuser. You can even break it down into categories. So for me, I could use the rosewood reed diffuser or the Cuban oak reed diffuser. So I click into reed diffuser and then I choose which reed diffuser it was. So for example, say it was the rosewood reed diffuser, tap on that and it would automatically bring up the price. So with the Square app, I think it's a fantastic thing to have. You don't need to have like a separate card reader or anything like that. You can basically get the person to touch the card to the back of your phone and it will take the sale that way. Also, you can put multiple things into the basket as well. So you can tap on reed diffuser, you can tap on, I don't know, wax melt clamshell, and it will total it for you. You can also put in a discount to that, which we had we had a discount option on our table via the spin wheel, which I'll talk about. So I think this Square app is brilliant. It does take a percentage of your sales. So I think per sale it takes like 1.25%. So with that in mind, I made £236.90 worth of sales, including about £14 discount. Average sale was about £7.64, and the Square app fees were about £4.21. So considering I made £236.90, £4.21 of the total sales was worth it basically for the ease. You can also collect email addresses via the Square app and send the person a receipt directly. The email addresses that you also collect during this time can then be added to your mailing list, and I will continue to use this at every market. So the only thing I didn't do was pre-input all the information onto the app. I just ran out of time. I didn't have the time, but it would have just made this part, so the breakdown of sales, a lot easier to read. I had to go back into the app and figure out what was bought. And obviously people were buying multiple things at once. We added discounts because of the spin wheel. It was difficult to break down. But so moving forward, if I'm going to a market, I need to pre-put all the information in, and it just makes my life easier in terms of knowing what sold, what scent sold as well, which I'm unable to tell you because it was a rush to market, and I can't tell you because I don't remember, and it's not in the app. So that's one tip moving forward. Another thing that I'd keep is the spin wheel. Now, I didn't realise how important this would be. So I think it got to the point where people were buying so they could have a go at spinning the wheel. And as like silly as it sounds, it really worked. They would obviously come over to the table and see other people spinning the wheel, and therefore they wanted to go. So I think it's like quite a fun thing to add to the table, and it takes the sort of seriousness out of trying to get the sale. So that's another thing that I would keep going forward. I think in the video I had said that people would need to spend over a certain amount to be able to spin the wheel. However, I completely scrapped that, and it was just if you went to buy something, you could spin the wheel. So if you went to buy one wax melt, you could spin the wheel and essentially get 10% off. And I think that's why people ended up making a purchase rather than not making a purchase, if you see what I mean. Moving forward again, I would keep the individual wax melts. I mean, it helps in terms of if someone didn't have such a big budget but wanted to make a purchase, the option is there because the wax melts were £1 and they could buy maybe 3 or 4 or however many they wanted and still make a purchase. So I think having the different price items, obviously the individual wax melts were £1, and then you had the clamshell wax melts which were about £8, and then you had the rediffusers which were about £25. It was there to serve, each budget. I hope that makes sense. So I think the only thing I would change moving forward is obviously there's a big jump between the £8 clamshell wax melts and the £25 rediffusers. I do want to add candles in there at about £18 to £20. So moving forward, I'm hoping that at my next market I can introduce sort of like another category, which would be candles. That would just close that gap a little bit between the wax melt clamshells and the rediffusers. Yeah, so all in all, quite a successful market, and I wasn't going to take part, and I'm happy I did because it was a good experience, and I know that what I will keep and what I need to change. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye. I'm so lazy. Yeah.